Hi, my name's Sophia Vasconez,
And I'm Elenna Villas, and we are proudly representing the Orlando Colonial FFA chapter.
and this is our illustration video.
Today we're going to be going over nutrition on all the key components, so just enjoy.
We're going to take a brief look at the bovidae digestive system. Just like humans, this all begins in the mouth. We start to chew our food, our saliva starts to break it down, and that's the first step of digestion. From there, the food enters the body, and then it goes straight to the esophagus, which is a hollow muscular tube that the food will then travel down from. After that, it starts the real digestion, which takes place in the stomach. In the stomachs of bovidae, they have 4 components, and the first one is the rumen. This is where the main beginning part of the digestion really takes place, and this is where food is stored, the fermentation begins in the stomach, and the beginning of the absorption of nutrients all happens in the rumen. This is also where regurgitation takes place for cud to be brought up and then digested again. From there, it gets sent to the reticulum, which moves the ingested feed to the omasum, which is our very next step. From the reticulum, it goes to the omasum. This is where the particle size of the actual fragments of feed start to reduce, and it starts to begin to remove water from the digested feed. Then finally, our last step of the stomach, it goes to the abomasum, which is also known as a true stomach. There, it produces the acid and pepsin to then just finally finish out digestion in the stomach and use those enzymes to further break down the food. Finally, we have section 3, which is where it exits the body. From the stomach, it goes to the small intestine, where juices and bile just keep on breaking down the food that's remaining in the intestines. Then from there, it goes to the large intestine, which absorbs the last bit of water and the end products, anything else the body wants. And finally, it exits through the anus, where the animal defecates and it eliminates all the waste.
The thing we're going to talk about is scours. Scours is diarrhea, and that can occur for many different reasons, and oftentimes it can occur also when they have bloat. When your animal isn't feeling too well, they show it by not being able to process their food correctly and just in general most of the time not eating. But when scours occurs, and if it's not at a bad level, you're going to make sure that they have plenty of water and they have plenty of hay in order to kind of restart the rumen and get it working correctly again. Oftentimes, if any health concern you have and you think that it's too much for your expertise or you don't have an idea, you're going to want to make sure to call a vet, because it's always in our best interest to keep your animal healthy and happy. We're going to be talking about the 7 nutrients needed to keep your animal healthy and happy. Starting off, we're going to do water. Water is the most important nutrient needed. Like me and you, we drink plenty of water, and so do they. And you're going to want to always make sure that it's clean and fresh, because if you don't want to drink it, it's not going to be good for them either. Next, we're going to move on to protein. Protein is going to make up the components of the organs. So protein is needed to make sure that your cattle is getting everything that they need, and they're going to need it at a very young age, because as they're growing, their organs are going to need to get bigger, and it's going to have to grow with them. Next, we're going to talk about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is most of the time called the fast sugar. So it's basically using the energy quickly and at that very moment. It's not going to be the stored fat like we'll talk about later on, which is fats, but carbohydrates is going to be the quick energy that you use every day. Next is the actual fats. It's the stored energy you don't use. All of us think that fat isn't good or you don't want fat, but in a cattle animal or a meat animal, you're actually going to want fat later on in the end of the project, because that's where a lot of the flavor comes from. Next, we're going to talk about vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are extremely important. Just like in humans, you constantly have vitamin deficiency or mineral deficiency, and when you're raising cattle, you're going to make sure that they have all the nutrients they need. If not, oftentimes they can get disease and have health problems. And that's all for the 7 nutrients.
Alina talked earlier about the 7 components of feed and how it has to do with animal nutrition. When choosing feed for our animals, we looked at sun glow, because if we look at the guaranteed analysis card, we can tell what percentage of crude protein, crude fat, and crude fiber we're putting in our feed. Elenna and I also feed 10 pounds each time of day. So that's 20 pounds in total. And that can guarantee that we're getting a good feed efficiency that Elenna's going to talk to you about later, and that we're building up our animals to be strong and healthy.
So, Sophia just talked to you about evaluating and selecting feed, and now I'm going to talk to you about feed efficiency. Feed efficiency is making sure that your animal is getting the right amount of feed in order for you to make weight or make the weight that you want when you get to show. Here I have a simple diagram. We set up easy numbers so that way we can follow along even at home. Today, we're going to look at a calf that I want at the end goal for state fair to be maybe 1,100 pounds. Right now, my calf is at 800 pounds and I have 100 days till fair. That means that when trying to calculate the weight, I need to see how much weight I have left in order till fair. When calculating, you're going to be at 300 pounds, and then because we have 100 days left till fair, you're going to divide it by 100. Once that comes out, you're going to realize that it's going to be 3 pounds per day. So your average daily gain is going to be 3 pounds in order for you to reach your goal of 1,100.
Thank you so much for watching our educational video on Bovidae nutrition.
And come visit us at the Florida State Fair this February. Welcome to the feed efficiency.
Good morning, San Diego. Thank you so much for watching our educational video on Bovidae nutrition.
That's just like